Okay, guys, what do? We roll. Okay, the background image. That reminds me of a red, white, and blue I went to I think it was the 2010 one. The speech I gave there is on the channel somewhere. I remember walking around the place with a female patriot talking about stuff like that. We weren't holding hands. Just for the record, we weren't holding hands. There was nothing going on. My wife was back at the tent cooking some food. She's a good wife. Not all men just want sex. Some also want to walk and talk about rounding up the communists and dropping them from helicopters. Great. Anyhow, we got to move on, guys, because we got a bit to talk about. I want to show you a 3-minute video of Tommy Robinson speaking. And I want to talk about the channel that we're going to get it from, okay? So let's go to the channel first. There it is, Working Class Patriot. I'm subscribed to him. He turns out some good stuff. Why am I talking about him before showing you the video? Well, he's having a bit of stick. One from YouTube itself. He's been hit with this. They've accused him of being a violent extremist or a criminal organization. And they've demonetized him. Now, the interesting thing about this is, if you have a look at the number of subscribers he's got 150,000 subscribers. And were he monetized, he could take quite a financial hit. And for some people, they depend on YouTube revenue to pay their bills and feed their families. But Working Class Patriot, as far as I can gather, is someone a bit like me. He doesn't accept Patreon, he doesn't accept money, paywalls, even coffee. Yeah, so there's not much they can do there about it. But it's a bit sad that over on one of his other videos, he explains about a bit of a tiff, if you like, with another YouTube creator who's trying to get his site closed down. Allegedly, this other YouTube creator is supposed to be on the right, if that's what you want to call us. We'll say on the right for the sake of this chat, and trying to get him taken down. So this could well be linked to that. But if that is the case, that is disgusting. And it kind of ties in to the video I'm about to show you. So let's get over to Tommy Robinson and have a look at that. Not there. Here. I'm going to play this. It's only three and a half minutes, and then we'll talk about it, okay?
So do you believe that the problem is Muslims, Islam, some Muslims, some sects of Islam? Like, what, when you talk about the question of Islam, let's drill into it. What exactly do you say is the problem, and who exactly is responsible for
The
it?
problem's Muhammad.
Right.
It all comes down to Muhammad. The problem is the man Muhammad was.
Yeah.
He was an immoral warmonger, a paedophile, a rapist, a murderer, a torturer. He ordered the execution of poets. He tortured Kanana, burnt him until he robbed his gold. He was a pirate. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Now, many Muslims, this is a difficult issue for me, because I went through a lot of problems here, because growing up in Luton, I know some beautiful Muslims. I know some wonderful men. But they're not wonderful men because they follow Islam. They're just wonderful men.
Yeah.
And even, I just said I went to football the other day. So I've got two brothers. I don't want to name them, but mum's black Kenyan Muslim, dad's Christian. Okay? They got taken out of the madrasa when they were and brought into my school. When the madrasa started teaching, their dad had the devil in him. Yeah? Because I remember that's when I met them, when they come to my school.
Yeah.
one would still at times identify the Muslim side of the family. The other one doesn't. But I still love that man. He's still a great man who would have my back like that, yeah, in any problem. But, so he's not a problem. But he would still identify as a Muslim.
Yeah.
And many Muslims, and I think the problem is apostasy, because if there wasn't that rule and families wouldn't abandon them and they wouldn't be ostracized from community and family, then Islam would have collapsed already. But because of that rule, many people who might not even believe in it still identify as it, because it's part of this thing that glues them all together.
Yeah.
So I don't see Muslims are people. So if you think every individual person's a problem, you're a problem. Yeah. Because some of them are going to. Winston Churchill said it perfectly. Individual Muslims will show great traits, personal traits, but Islam will always bring society backwards because of their belief on women being the property of man, their belief on freedom of speech. So for me, Islam.
To what Tommy said about Winston Churchill there, I think I've put it up somewhere on our channel, the exact quote that Winston Churchill used about Islam. So true. And I'm, you know, whatever anybody says about Tommy Robinson, he is an intelligent man. He's read his books and he's done his research. And his reference to that quote by Churchill impressed me.
Islam's the problem, and Muhammad's the problem. It's Muhammad, because it's all because of Muhammad and the man he was. He was an immoral man. The fact we've now got 4 million people in this country, maybe 6, maybe 8, that believe or are taught to believe from this high that this man was perfect. This man, who, according to their scripture, not mine, not the Bible, not anything we say, forget what Christians say, forget what Sikhs say, listen to what their scripture says. He beheaded 600 people. He waged war. He spread Islam with the sword. Of course we're going to have problems. So when someone wants to be devout and practice the literal word of this book, well, they end up going fight for ISIS. And when we look at that, we've had Muslim immigration to this country for 50 years. Now, my mate, who I was just talking about, is one of the Muslims that went to join the Royal Navy. Yeah? He's one of them. And after Lee Rigby was beheaded, I stood at our first demonstration in Newcastle and said there's 660 Muslims serving in the British Armed Forces. They're doing a lot more than us. Like, we can't hate every individual here. Year period of Muslim immigration, or 70-year period into the UK. Then over those years, in a 3-year period of ISIS, 4 times as many Muslims went to fight for ISIS than had ever joined the British military in 60 years. There's a massive problem.
Do you what? So let's imagine that.
Okay, guys. Great interview by Tommy then, wasn't it? And he approached it from a different angle to the angle I might have approached an attack on Islam from. He went right back to the source, didn't he? Mohammed. He was a chancer, wasn't he, Mohammed? He was one of the first influencers. Well, he certainly influenced a lot of the world, didn't he? But there's a lot of gullible people in the world, aren't there? Tommy Robinson. I'm not a natural supporter of Tommy Robinson. I see him more as the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Tommy was once a member of the British National Party in 2004 until 2005. So he was there almost a year, and he left. He thought our policies were a bit too right-wing. He probably bumped into Mark Collett in the pub. Yeah, but no, the British National Party members were decent people. But it's no secret that I have a problem with not only Islam, but also Zionism. And so I think Tommy should just be waving our flag, not another country's flag. Yeah. But that said, that doesn't take away from the fact that because I disagree with some of his things, I don't appreciate what he does or doubt his courage. The guy is a brave man. He's proven it time after time. Is being constantly confined in prison for his beliefs, you know. A lesser man would have walked away, but not Tommy. He fights on. Sometimes he makes mistakes. If I wanted to, I could write a video that would last 2 hours attacking Tommy for different things he's said and done that I don't agree with. Sometimes his optics are really, really bad. And I think he might admit that himself. But no, we don't agree on everything, but we both agreed on one thing. Something has to be done about Islam. I could go in and talk about passages in the Torah and refer Tommy to them to see what he says. But we don't do that anymore, do we, guys? Let's sort the country out and then we can have a go at each other. No, I support Tommy Robinson in this fight. I mean, if you think about the documentaries that he's created, they are truly superb. The one about Panorama, the way he demolished Panorama and the BBC, causing that director to be removed. God knows what happened to him. He probably got promoted upwards. Was superb journalism, truly superb journalism. I'll see if I can find the link for it. And then more recently, there was this one, which you can watch on YouTube. Yeah, Tommy Robinson, The Untold Story. This is, it's 42 minutes. Obviously, I won't play it all. I'll leave the link in the bottom. But if you get a chance, guys, watch it. It's riveting.
The worst memory of my life? I've had a few, man. So where was I? Winchester Prison. Winchester Prison, and I was sat there, and my mum was going in for a 13-hour operation that they didn't know if she'd come out of. So the priest had come to the door. Yeah, you'll get me going again, man. Priest come to the door, and then I sit and think about the worry you've caused them. My mum's a mad little Irish woman who is the kindest, most nice woman you'll ever meet in your life.
I was going to say, one of the things that made me smile about Tommy years ago was he was stood next to a Muslim guy and he held up the Muslim guy's arm in his and said, he's as English as I am. And everybody chapped, and I thought, I wonder if they know that Tommy's really Irish. Perhaps that's why he occasionally gets emotional. The Welsh, Irish, yeah, we're emotional. And yeah, perhaps I'll change my opinion on him. I doubt it though. But let's let him continue for a couple more minutes.
At the start of even my activism, she worked in a Catholic school. And I had everyone sit and beg me to stop. Family members, how it's affected them. She was threatened with her job at the time, about who her son was.
Okay, I'll stop it there, guys. I will put a link in the description because this is truly is a must watch. I mean, I'd stand by Tommy and fight alongside him any day of the week. Shit, I'd be prepared to die alongside him. But there we go. And so here you see, and I think Tommy's pragmatic. He might disagree with some of my beliefs, most certainly over Israel. But in this battle, we are on the same side. Let me pause that now, guys, because I'm not sure where I wanted to go next. When in doubt, go to the channel. I think I've said all I've got to say, really. We'll have a quick look. Is there any new subscribers? No, 1,370. Got to do better, Paul. How's our video? Oh, not bad. 144 views on that one. You only went on it, didn't you, to see the gay Green Arrow website? If you haven't watched it, you better go watch that video. About 3 or 4 minutes in, yeah. Some spicy stuff on there, guys. If you like lady boys and homoerotic sex, that's the video for you. Okay, guys, we're doing pretty good. I'm glad to see that the speech the world needs to see is getting a bit more traction. 250,000 people watched it. Like I said earlier, I just think everyone in the country should see that video from Rupert Lowe. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you. Now I'm gonna go and really try and make that video about Russia and America and how they'll be allies. The European Union is going to be caught in a nutcracker, and good enough for them and us for letting things get to this state. Okay, guys, you've been listening to Paul Morris, The Green Arrow. See you on the next one.